thank you so much for joining us today. It's not every day that you get to have a NCAA finalist on the channel and get to talk to who's been through a lot this season, a historic season for Oklahoma. So, Layne, thank you again for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
No, absolutely. And I think for you too, you probably had one of the best seasons in Oklahoma history, individually and as a team. If you were to describe your season in one word, what would it be?
Um, Probably legacy.
Okay.
That,
Why?
that was a big word for our team. We wanted to
Mhm.
build a legacy, and I think we did that over the 2 years that I was at OU.
And for you, when it comes to looking back at your time, not just at OU, but in college tennis as well, what's going to be the biggest takeaway you're going to have going into the pros?
I would say playing for more than myself. That was a
Mhm.
big thing I learned, and that I really enjoyed about college tennis. And I'll take that to the pros with me.
And for you too, you've said you recently did a interview with John from NOAD, No Problem, and you said that one of the things that you liked or the energy that college tennis brought to your game was above all else very helpful and very supportive. And I think a lot of people don't understand that once you go pro, you don't necessarily have that. So how do you maintain that mentality as a pro traveling either by yourself or with one or two people?
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge, and the pro tour is very lonely, but hopefully me, Ivana, and Carmen will play a bunch of the tournaments, my two
Mm-hmm.
teammates from OU. So hopefully
Mm-hmm.
we can do that together and just try and bring like the Sooner energy to pro tournaments.
I like that. And for you too, it seems like you are very mentally strong. And I think that's one of the things that you've said in public with regards to one of the things about your game that you love and one of the things that you take with you. So, how would you describe that? How would you describe your game style or mentality going into the pros?
I really just enjoy like battling for every point, running after every ball, basically just fighting as hard as I can, and whatever happens, happens. Like I just leave it out there for every match.
Is there a time that you've ever been kind of mentally frustrated when it comes to playing a match or playing in a situation?
Definitely the start of this season. I did
Mm-hmm.
not have a great start, so I was a little bit frustrated, but I just put in more work and then it finally clicked for me.
What made you frustrated about it? Because I feel like a lot of people and tennis players kind of they always have a lapse. So how would you say you overcame it in terms of specifically hard work? What did you do to help you?
I was kind of struggling with my forehand a little bit, so I just kept doing individuals with Audra and Jose and just kept working on it and really just focusing on the little things, and then
Mm-hmm.
it all came together.
How would you what you've also taken a lot with your coach and you've talked about your coach as well as being one of your biggest role models or being one of the biggest helpers this season. What's one thing that you look for in a coach besides your one at OU? What's one thing that kind of helps motivate you to be a better player?
Definitely good energy.
Mm-hmm.
I really someone who's like fun to work with, but also hardworking, but not too serious at the same time. Like we can joke around on court.
Are you a serious person on court?
No, not at all. Like maybe I look serious, but I love having fun, like joking around on court.
Okay. I feel like people take it maybe too seriously and
Yeah,
having that mentality. It's because your parents got you into tennis, right?
yeah.
It's, did they push you in a way, or did they teach you something about the sport that you take along with you now?
No, I wouldn't say they pushed me that hard. I played like six other sports, so it was kind of my decision, which sport I wanted to stick with.
Hmm.
But I would say one thing I take with me all the time is my dad always tells me just believe in yourself. Like no matter what you're doing, believe in yourself.
What's what other sports did you play?
Gymnastics, golf, track, cross country, um, hockey, and soccer.
Jeez,
Yeah,
you
I
chose
played like
to. You played everything.
yeah.
Is there something that you learned from the other sports that you use in tennis?
I think I can slide so well on court because I was a goalie in hockey. So I'm used to like sliding across the crease.
Okay.
Um, and then also playing on a team. It definitely helped in college because
Mm.
a lot of tennis players aren't used to playing on a team, but I was. So I think that helped a lot in college.
Do you still play hockey now?
No, but like when I go back to Canada, I do go on the ice and play a
Okay.
little with my brother because my brother plays.
Oh, very nice. Is he in college as well, or does he play?
Yeah, he goes to college in New York.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah,
That's huge. So, who's more competitive between the two of you?
definitely me. He'll say that too.
That's probably a good point because for the amount of hard work you put into the sport, it's very impressive. And if you what like going into the pros as well, do you have any goals that you want to accomplish right off the bat, or are you seeing where you are at first and then making a goal when you go through a full season?
I mean, at the end of the day, I want to be top 100,
Hmm.
but that's just however long it takes me to get there. And I'm willing to work for it and just whatever happens, happens.
What's the dream for you?
The dream to be top 100 and be the best tennis player that I can be.
Okay. So no outwards, nothing specifically like top 10, win a Grand Slam. It's just be top
I mean,
100.
yeah, that's definitely the dream.
Do you think you model your game after anyone?
I think I kind of play like Radwanska.
Oh,
He just
really?
doesn't play anymore. And then a couple people have told me like I play kind of like Wozniacki, just
Okay.
kind of fight for every point, run after every ball, grind.
And you don't, so would you pick yourself to be Radwanska or Wozniacki, you think?
Mm, probably Wozniacki.
Okay. Because I feel like her game too, one, she won a Grand Slam. So
Yeah.
that's always a good plus to have with that comparison. And two, with your game style as well, you add a lot of variety to your game and you add a lot of different shots, and your hustle really shows it on court. So, do you think the women's game has changed in that way, where it's gone from sheer kind of power at the baseline to more variety on court, like we saw with Barty?
Yeah, I would say definitely the girls are starting to add more variety. It's still a big power game,
Hmm.
but girls are starting to slice more, come in a little more.
Hmm.
So yeah.
I agree, and if for you too, it's what made you? I actually want to ask you, what made you transfer to OU?
Like why did I choose OU?
Yeah, essentially because you were somewhere before OU, were you not?
Yeah, I was at University of Florida for 2 years.
So for 2 years, and then when you transferred to OU, you said the biggest part was the coaching staff, correct?
Yeah, I wanted to find a good coaching staff that would just help me improve my game. And then the second thing was a team that I could like really bond with and just get along with and be like sisters.
Do you have, if we were to ask you what's your favorite coach moment for you from OU, would you happen to have one off the top of your head?
Um, Probably the match against OSU was 3-all. I was down. I want to say I was down 4-1 in the third. Yeah, 4-1 in the third, and Audra was just like coaching me every single point, just telling me I could do it. And then it was 5-0 and I actually started cramping and I could barely walk. And I was just like, I don't know if I can do this. And she was just convincing me that I could do it. It's probably my favorite match that we've played together.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's impressive. One, because you cramped. We've seen what that happens when we saw Alcaraz play at the French. And two, again, that mental side of it, did it take you a while to get to be mentally strong like you are now, or was it something that you've always had?
I would say I think I've always had it from a young age. My dad really instilled that in me from when I was young, just like fight and just work as hard as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's impressive too, because you didn't consider college tennis at first, right?
Yeah.
Why what changed for you? Because as a junior, you kind of decided last minute that you wanted to go to college, and you were training in Florida at that time too. So it's kind of University of Florida is right around kind of the corner for Saddlebrook. What was the deciding factor for you to go to college?
Um, Kind of the college level was getting really strong, so I thought it'd be a good stepping stone. And then my dad wanted me to get an education.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And then I went to University of Florida because it was so close to home, like
Okay.
Saddlebrook.
And I think my last question for you is, how, if you were given the opportunity to win a Grand Slam or be number one in the world, which one would you rather take?
A grand slam for sure. I feel like that's a feeling that rarely anyone gets to accomplish or feel. So definitely a
Which,
grand.
which one?
I got to go with Wimbledon. I feel like that's
Okay.
just so cool and classy.
It really is. So if I was to ask you who's going to win Wimbledon this year, who would you pick?
Um, I'm gonna go with Iga.
Iga, I like that. Iga's a good one.
Yeah,
And what about men's Novak?
yeah, Novak for sure.
Yeah, it's hard not to pick them now. I
They're
feel
just
like
too good.
they're just too good. But Layne, I really do appreciate you joining us today. Is there anywhere that people can follow you when it comes to following your journey, following your story, when it comes to that, for engaging in your content?
Yeah, they can follow me on Instagram at Layne_Sleether01.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Layne, thank you again for doing this. I really appreciate it. And good luck on the Pro Tour.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. Thank you.
No worries.